Hi there, my name's Carrie Griffiths, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can sing high notes without straining or cracking your voice, even if you think you've got a low voice. Now, with a lot of the beginners that I work with, they're often convinced that they don't have a high voice or they can't sing a high voice, and mostly that's not the case, okay? Even if you do have a low range, if your voice sits in baritone or even bass, your voice can usually go higher than you think it can at the beginning. The only reason you may be feeling like your voice doesn't go to those higher pitches is because there's some kind of a restriction, there's a barrier, or there's some kind of gap where you think there should be sound. So often you're singing away and you get to a certain point and your voice just stops. Now that's probably because you're singing in your chest voice. So we have 4 different voices, registers, and I do explain that in this video that's going to pop up somewhere around here. Now, once you know what those registers are, I will go through them very, very quickly, but do use that video to understand more about them. So we have the fry right at the bottom, we have the chest voice, we have the head resonance. I'm going to voice or resonance, they're interchangeable. So fry, chest, head, falsetto in men, and the whistle. Now, also falsetto in head does change depending on which voice coach you're speaking to or listening to. Now, what usually happens is the reason that we have that stop or that block or that crack is that there's a transition between where your chest voice becomes your head voice. And what's really happening is your vocal cords are going from quite, thickish to quite thin. But if you're not sure how to navigate that part of your voice, it kind of snaps into place, and that's what causes the crack. And you'll hear this in pubescent boys when their voices are dropping. That's actually their vocal cords are changing, the makeup of their vocal cords are changing. And so they're going from thick to thin very quickly, and the voice is snapping back and forth. That's a very, very simplistic way of explaining it. So what I'm going to show you is an exercise that you can use to navigate through that crack so that you can use your vocal cords properly and your voice properly so that you won't get that stop or that block or that barrier. So what I'm going to explain what's going to happen as we go through the exercise, and we're going to start in our chest voice. We're going to go up into our head voice. Now you may feel that there's a change in gear, okay? Now that's really important for you to be able to feel that so that you know where you can then start to use the techniques. So we're just going to make the sound z, 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 like Z for zebra or Z for zebra, wherever you come from. Z. I'm going to start kind of low-ish, so it should be able to fit all voices. And we're just going to go from the root to the fifth, and we're just going to sing z. Now, I don't want you to take any extra big breaths. I don't want you to go zzz, because as soon as you take a big breath like that, you're going to cause lots of tension. So you're just going to allow the air to come into your lungs naturally. You're going to feel some kind of expansion around your stomach and your back. You're going to have a nice loose stomach. We're not trying to hold it in. We're not sucking anything in. This is all about relaxing and keeping everything nice and loose. So we're just going to breathe normally and sing. Now it's going to be around about here, or maybe a little further up if you have a slightly higher voice, if your voice sits in a mezzo or a soprano range. And what you're going to feel is some kind of, as I said, some kind of a gear change, a loosening up, an opening. And it may feel like you're singing in a kind of singy voice, or I sometimes with my students, I call it a choir voice. So it's like it, but this will be your head voice. You may feel it resonating around here. You may not, it doesn't matter. But that zzz sound is going to make it really easy for you to get up to those notes without cracking or breaking. But if it does crack or break in the first few times, that doesn't matter, because eventually you'll start to get it. So we're really aiming for a kind of feeling of the sound coming forward through our nose, through that zzz. So let's go from here. And as you get higher, there may be a tendency to want to push the sound or to sing louder to get the sound out. But really we want to do the opposite of that. If the sound needs to be quiet, let it be quiet, because eventually, as your voice strengthens and you get more control, the volume will come naturally. We don't need to push any of it. So let's go from here. And you can hear that I'm singing through a slide. I'm singing through all of the notes. I'm not singing. It's not a jump. This is a slide up through all of the notes to really allow your vocal cords to get some movement. So let's go from here. We'll come back down. And keep remembering to have a nice loose stomach. Let the air come in, let your voice do its work. Almost there. And last one. And relax. Now, once you've mastered this exercise and this technique, please go on to the next video, which is going to pop up somewhere around here. And I will see you very soon. Take care, stay hydrated. Ciao.